Hi everyone, in this video I will be showing you again how to log into LibGuides and create your LibGuides using one of the two options that are listed in the LibGuide setup assignment. You'll be choosing from starting fresh or copying content and the layout from an existing guide. So before moving forward, you'll need to know two things. That is, do you want to start fresh or do you want to copy the content that I've already created? You'll also need to know which type of LibGuide layout you want to use for your final project. So here on the saclis.libguides.com page, we're going to scroll down and log into LibApps. I'm already logged in, so you didn't see the login screen. So let's go ahead and get started with creating this guide. As I mentioned in the previous video, you'll be doing two things on this page for the rest of the semester. That is creating your guide or accessing content using this top navigation menu and clicking on guides. So once you create your guide, you'll access the guide that you created here. Right now, there's only these two examples that I created as a starter LibGuide for your final project. But as students start creating their guides, you'll see this list grow. Now to get back to the home page where we saw the create button, we're going to go home. Okay, so let's get started with actually creating a guide. We're just going to click Create Guide, and you'll see the two options on this first drop down. Are we starting fresh? You'll see what that looks like in a minute. Or are we going to copy content from the starter guides that I created for the final? For this example, we are going to start fresh. The next thing you need to know is which layout are you going to be using? There were those two options. One of them was the tab layout and one of them was the side navigation. Here's an example of the side navigation where you have your pages listed on the side. And for the tab layout, you have them listed across the top. Okay, so for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to use the side navigation layout. And then next, we're going to name this guide. It says in the LibGuide setup assignment to rename your guide, but you're welcome to name your guide with your last name and first name right here on this step. That is what I'm asking you to do. You can skip the guide description. We are going to do a general purpose guide, no group assignment, and you don't need a password. Under share guide content, we do want to leave this to community so that I can see the public facing version of your LibGuide once you publish that. So now we're going to click Create Guide. And here you have it. We know this is a guide that we just created because the title of this guide is what I entered, right? Which is what I'm asking you to use for your titles at this moment. In the future, you can change this to represent the name of your dream library. Okay, so now that we've officially created our guide, the next thing to do will be to start building out your guide by adding additional pages, creating boxes, and then adding content to those boxes. So this is what we have to start when you start fresh. You really are starting almost completely from zero, but what you do have is the first page, which is your home page, already created for you. If you want to see what this would look like if you publish this LibGuide as is, we're going to use this little eyeball here, and you'll see there isn't much going on. I wanted to demonstrate this to you because I want you all to become more comfortable toggling back and forth between a preview, which is what we're looking at here, and then your previous tab, which was your editing tab. So what you're going to do to create additional pages is use this plus button. For your LibGuide setup assignment, I'm asking that you create 3 additional pages so that you have a total of 4 pages on this guide. Your second page should be an About Us page. You can use About Us, or About the library. You can skip the description for now. It is a top level page. Go ahead and save. Now we have a second page. To distinguish between Home and About Us, let's go ahead and add a box to Home. On the home page, I'm going to name this box something like Welcome to My Dream Library, right? This will have an actual formal name pretty soon. Now we have a box in our column 1 for this type of page. So when we look at About Us, now we can see a little bit more clearly that this is a different page from the home page. I like to add a box as soon as I create a page, just so I can start to think about what should go on this page. So About Us, you can do something like library history. Something you all might remember from other examples of library websites, you might see something like meet the staff, meet our staff. And you can start to throw down ideas on these pages just to help you start brainstorm and start to structure your page a little bit more. So now when I look at home, I see my first box that I created. I see About Us, and then we're going to add 2 more pages, one being services. And then your final page, for the purposes of your LibGuide setup assignment, needs to be some kind of special feature, right? If you don't know what that special feature is, you can just call it special feature. The goal of the LibGuide setup assignment is really just for you to practice creating pages and adding boxes that are going to help distinguish between the different pages that you created. Now you may have noticed that once you added this first box to your home page, this surprise box popped up, right? This is one of the template features of starting fresh when you create a LibGuide. And so you'll see it says librarian and then it has a 0 slash through it. And that's explained in this yellow warning that you have up here at the top of the page. It says that this page contains 1 or more boxes in non-visible columns. To resolve this issue, use the Reorder Boxes option under the page menu to move the boxes into a visible column. So here's what happened. When you use the side navigation layout, you have this first column, which really is there to house your menu. This technically is a column 0, and then you have column 1, which we can see down here. When you use the tabbed layout, like this one, you actually have 3 columns. Column 1, column 2, and column 3. You can see these identified at the bottom of the page. 1, 2, 3. So what happens with the side navigation menu is this default box is programmed to show up in column 3. That works for the tabbed option, but it doesn't work so well with the side menu. But this can be corrected pretty easily, and this is a great time to show you how to move boxes around from column to column once they've been created. We're going to use this page edit drop down, and we're going to reorder boxes. We're trying to reorder this librarian box. This is basically the map of your current page, and column 3 is just how is librarian in column 3 if we don't have a column 3. We only have a column 0 and a column 1 for the side navigation option. So what we're going to do is move column 3, well actually the box from column 3 into column 1. That way it will be visible and it's going to correct that error message we have. Ta-da! So now you have this default librarian box at the bottom of column 1. Now that's up to you if you want to use this box. If you don't, I can show you right now how to delete this box. You're just going to use the X at the top of the box. Understand that this cannot be done, and delete. Ta-da! So now we've practiced creating 3 additional pages using this plus button. In the home page, we added Welcome to My Dream Library in column 1. And in About Us, we added 2 boxes, Library History and Meet Our Staff. Let's go back to the home page, and I'm going to show you how to add content. To add content to a box, you're going to use this add/reorder dropdown. Now, the type of content that you want to add needs to be selected from this list. And you'll see there's some really interesting examples of different kinds of content that you can add to this list, from this list. The one you're going to use the most is probably rich text. This is when you just want to type content or add an image. So we can say, because this is our welcome box, welcome to Dream Library. We look forward to sharing our services and resources with the residents of Huntington Park, California, period. Something very simple like that. You can click Save and Close, but you'll also see that there's an option for position, which is going to be more relevant as you add multiple forms of content in a single box. So Save and Close, and there's your content. So when it comes to creating a LibGuide from scratch, I think this is pretty much all you need to know for the LibGuide setup assignment. How to actually create the LibGuide, how to create additional pages that are going to show up on the side navigation menu, how to create boxes using Add Box, and then how to add content using the Add or Reorder dropdown.